Remember, please hit like and subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go. Hi, everyone. Today is Monday, August the 18th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We'll try to get through this as quickly as we can since I am running a little bit behind. We're taking a look at the ES, and you can see we are in about a 4-day consolidation event. The high volume candlestick on August the 12th is the one that we are sort of battling through. We do have negative trend, and we are underneath the 63, which is not particularly bullish. My thought is bounces are going to lead to sell zones. Our 30-minute opening candlestick formation is very much within the range of the high volume candlestick from Friday at 3:30. That's what we're trying to battle through. Right now, in the grand scheme of things, we are sitting inside of the high volume area on August the 14th at 9:30. This is what they're trying to do. My suspicion is, based on mildly positive technical divergence, is that we bounce into these resistance areas that give us a little bit of an understanding about what we want to see. Notice overnight volume has been out of the ordinary, right? And so it looks to me like they're trying to defend this floor. If they don't, next line in the sand is going to be through the low volume node and into 6,440 or so. We know this area very, very well, right? It's come to us a lot, and it happens to be the high volume candlestick high on August the 12th. Now, for those of us that don't trade futures but still watch me, you can use this analysis on any chart in any time frame. You just have to set your bounds and then decide what you're going to do with the information. It is a bit of a cross current. I've been in a long since about 5 a.m. I'm looking for the target up here at 6470 or so. That's a really noisy patch. And then if it holds, I'll try to run it up to 6480. But I don't love the setup. It's not one that I am engaged in on larger size because it is counter trend and counter momentum. And those are the things that hold me and tell me whether I can use size or not, when to size up. All right, so high of the day, potentially 6484 to 6495. Machine learning suggests that if we hold the framework here, we could have trending motion that takes us up into prior resistance zone. So you want to watch that first 30-minute candlestick very much and make sure that if you don't have typical volume by time of day, which I don't know that I see it on other platforms, and of course you guys know how much I love TrendSpider, so there you have it there. It just makes a great learning tool. And they do have a side product called Signal Stack that if you're trading in your live accounts, Schwab and a few others, you can use that. It's very unique that they have gotten Schwab. I think that's fantastic. All right, so overall, sideways formation with slightly bearish tendencies, but we are sitting in 4 days of consolidation, which makes me think we'll consolidate to the top of the range. All right, let's take a look at the NQ. Staring down the NQ, the hourly candlestick formations do a really good job here. You can use the 30-minute. I like to go where the volume signals are the most solid for me. And so we can see a volume event right here at the base the 3 to 4 o'clock candlestick on August 11 comes into very heavy congestion. Also, value area low for this very wide range. This is also in consolidation, and you can see that they are trying to hold old resistance that became support. Could they do it? Quite possibly. We have a little bit of positive divergence, but again, the bounces ought to be the selling zones. We've got low volume here, but a very wide, ugly pattern in terms of profile action. So you want to be careful here. Nothing wrong with getting a long. For those of you that saw my short setup last night, I had an additional ad up there at, I think it was 860, and it came right into my target for a very nice trade in the overnight. And again, only framed out by volume. That's all I did, volume and trend. What's trend? Always master and commander. Both of them are down. We have negative location for the momentum indicator, and that tells us the bounces are very likely to be sell zones here. Low end of the range, value area low at around 23,600 to 23,576. I like that line a lot because it certainly gives us the range of this very big candlestick formation. All right, upper edges, old resistance, new support, 880. But once we get into this volume candlestick at around 9, it's the 9 to 10. All my times are in Eastern time zone. 9 to 10. Here's the bounce all the way up into 23,950. That's what we want to watch. We'll see what happens here. But my thought is we are in broad consolidation. So easily this double bottoming event with slightly positive technical divergence should give us the first target up to 23,820, and then potentially where the point of control is at 23,929. Watch your size today. I believe it's going to be critically important in general. Same sort of thing, hourly candlesticks do a better job in the YM than the 30-minute, and it might be because the ES has so much relative volume that the 30-minute candlesticks are used more often. Not really sure. Here's what we did. The high volume candlestick of August the 13th, while we're sitting looking here at the YM, that's the region with the highest volume event down here in this support zone. After that, we've got the support zone on August the 14th. That's the 9 to 10 a.m. candlestick. Look, we wicked below and bounced up. Look at how different trend looks. It's mixed, obviously, because we have a downward tight moving average and an upward slow moving average. We have positive divergence, right? That means price action gets lower, but momentum increases. That literally tells us that the selling pressure is getting lighter. That being said, the chart needs to recover out of this high volume node and move above. My suspicion is that resistance sits here at 45,108, but that is a very sticky patch. It's a very, very sticky patch. And you could see the price action potentially extend there before it reverses. So how do you stay in a trade like that? You go small size, you estimate what's coming. If it rises up, still keep your stop above the recent resistance, but you can add into the zone that says, hey, I am trading this downward path. It allows me to lever in just a little bit. Also, as in the YM and the NQ, we have increased volume in the pre-market that is noteworthy only because I think they're trying to hold support, right? We're only looking at about 2.5 days, 3 days of consolidation here, but they are trying to move to the upper edge. Low volume node well above at 45,200 or so. Let's take a look at micro Bitcoin. We are still in the Q contract. Also the 1 hour chart holding here. As I mentioned in market kickoff, I thought, hey, listen, if it doesn't bounce up and hold this floor, it's going to 113,000. And with Bitcoin, you can see that what they're trying to do is hang on to the top of this very large volume candle on August the 5th. It's a pretty much do or die zone, and so you see them buying right off the edge. What is trend? Very steep. Very steep. What is momentum? Also very steep. Not really showing signs of ultimately slowing down, but you can see them trying to carve out a bottom here as selling pressure diminishes. Is this a good trade? I mean, not really. If you're going in for a scalp, potentially, you'd want to try it at the 115,030 area. But in my mind, have a look. We had, what was our highest volume candle? This one right here, the highest volume candle. Nope, it's all the way up here. But that's, yeah, that's okay. That's actually not in the overnight. This overnight candlestick formation, that's going to give us our front line of resistance. And so you might go, but Henry, it came up over the top. Listen, what is trend? Down. What is momentum? Down. So if it comes into the range, it's not a long. It's a bounce action that's trying to find resistance that's going to give us another short. If we move to the left, we can see that resistance zone now sits right at around 115,870. That would be the zone, if you were trying to scalp along, that would be the zone that you'd want to get into and hold. My thought is that selling pressure is so strong that if it bounces here, it's going to come back down and try to carve something out at 115 if it holds. If not, I think we head to 113,000. All right, let's take a look at oil. Oil, also, these 1 hour patterns work. Ultimately, the 4 hour works, but I just don't want to shift all of the noise over here. This candlestick on August the 13th is the one that we are battling through. What is trend? Mixed. So that means we are in an inventory accumulation and consolidation space. How many days? Holy smokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of consolidation in this space. Is it going to potentially break? Yeah, of course it will. What's it holding as the floor? It is holding the 10 o'clock candlestick from August the 13th at 62. It's trying to hold it. It came up. The traders, let's draw Fibonacci so you can remember this. Watch for the 50% range of these formations to hold. I'm going to tell you, we traders, we're Simple Simons. So follow along. Simple Simon goes halfway back, and then it holds. Big volume area. Next big volume patch is this zone right here at the top of this old resistance. So if the traders can hold it here, which I'm not sure they will, my thought is they're going to come down and try to carve things out. But if they hold it here, top of the box, 6,382, then potentially the volume point of control at $64, and then finally $64.51. Right? That's going to give us the top of the range. If some news takes us into this volume region, that's a lot of trading in that zone. The next candlestick the traders have to get up and over is the volume candlestick from August the 6th at 12 noon Eastern. And that should give us our next line in the sand as we move up in oil with a move into the 65.20 area. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we chopped around in here. What's the trade then? Wait for the deep dips or wait for the big spikes and trade in the opposite direction. Let's take a look at gold. Gold's in a very sticky patch. We had a really big high volume sell-off several days past, right? And a lot of shenanigans here, and we're still sitting inside of that box. Okay, notice this volume area here that came how many days ago? Look at how long we've been in consolidation in this pocket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today we start the 7th day. What is trend? Mixed. That confirms we're in an inventory accumulation space. 3,380 gonna be a really big deal. Do I think we're headed there? Potentially. But we could also hold 3,368. What do I like to do in these kinds of areas? I don't like it when trend is mixed and momentum is just slightly positive but losing steam. To me, I'll wait down here, right? I'd love to see them fill in the low volume node and take us to 3,350. If it comes into that zone, I'll be a buyer. Other than that, I'm just going to sit around and stare at this one and just pay attention with an alert formation that says, hey, listen, if you hit that number, it's going to be a buy. Now, the question is, could it also have a selling formation? Absolutely. The volume weighted average price up here at 3,420 has been an absolutely stellar selling situation over the last, if you could look at the last 5 days. Anytime it's come in there, it's given us a ton, right? Remember, it's $10 a tick here in this chart. Absolutely beautiful price action. We are well above the opening range here in the chart. Could be a floor if you're super excited about trading gold, and that's 3,382. Let's finally take a look at SPY. For those of us that have a lot of other instruments that we're trading besides the futures, or we don't trade the futures at all, and we just watch this for setup formations, have a look. August the 12th, the 3 to 4 o'clock candlestick is carrying the most volume of recent days. We've got this closing candlestick formation, also 3 to 4 o'clock on August the 14th. What are we doing? We're underneath that August the 14th low, and so now we're in the battleground with this area from August the 12th. So what's the line in the sand? Pretty clear, it's $641. If we lose that, notice the last time we lost it, we bought right away. But what was different? This. We are now underneath this moving average, and the trend here is negative. So what's the trade? The failed bounce to give us the selling pressure is the trade. If you want to go long here, if it comes back into this zone and you go, you know what, I hear you, lady, but I'm going higher. I think that's what I want to do. No problem at all. Just manage your risk. So if you go, hey, I'm going to go long, the 641.44, kind of a key level. You could give yourself about 50 cents or so, and then you can have yourself upside pressure on the horizon. But again, this is going to be into resistance. So you want to be careful. Be careful. All right, everybody. I'll see you on the streams. Take it easy.